Here's my audience. Many college student athletes receive scholarships that pay for their full education. A lot of non-athletes such as myself would be overjoyed to receive a full ride scholarships from any university. However, many college student athletes don't believe a scholarship is enough, and they want to be paid extra money on the side. Several colleges and boosters have illegally provided money to star high school athletes to entice them into coming to their university. Once every few weeks, ESPN will utter a report about schools illegally giving student athletes benefits. With the number of NCAA violations decreasing, should the NCAA break down and allow student athletes to be paid at their university's discretion? Recently, college football players all over the nation have worn the three letters APU, which stands for All Players United. On their equipment to protest against the NCAA, Northwestern quarterback Kane Coulter and Georgia Tech quarterback Thad Lee are among the players who have APU on their equipment. While the main goal of the APU is to reimburse players who have received concussions while playing football, the group has many other goals. Members of the APU are trying to show unity among college athletes across the nation to seek NCAA reform. This campaign has several goals, including joining Ed O'Bannon's lawsuit against EA Sports for using players' images, which could unlock billions of dollars for current, future, and former players, according to Daniel Oldman. The campaign also hopes to allow student athletes to receive a portion of over $1 billion in television revenue. During the Final Four of the 2013 men's basketball tournament, companies had to pay $700,000 for a 30-second advertisement, according to Chris Smith's article. Why shouldn't the players of the Final Four receive a chunk of this $1 billion from television deals? There would be no college basketball if there weren't any players. If there was no college basketball, then the NCAA would make $1 billion from the NCAA tournament. The college basketball coaches receive large bonuses when their teams reach the Final Four, according to Smith. No coach would get this type of bonus if it wasn't for their players' performance. The NCAA should grant colleges and universities the right to split the bonuses between the coaches and the players. Doing this would satisfy the players and give them a larger incentive to win a national championship. Andrew Wiggins was the #1 high school basketball recruit in 2013. On November 2nd, 2013, before Wiggins even performed in a collegiate game, he announced that he would most likely be turning pro after his first season at Kansas, according to the Associated Press's article on ESPN. In order for a player to enter the NBA draft, he must do one of the following: attend college for at least 1 year, or play in international professional leagues such as the European League or the Chinese League for at least 1 year. The University of Kentucky's basketball program, headed by John Calipari, is well known for bringing several highly touted freshmen every single year. Most of these freshmen are very successful at Kentucky, so they enter the NBA draft after their first year. This is the only way that these players can legally receive a paycheck to play basketball. Coach Calipari wants the NCAA to force players to stay in college at least 2 years before they enter the NBA draft. Calipari is in favor of the rule change, given the fact that in his 4 years at Kentucky, he has lost 13 freshmen to the first round of the NBA draft, according to his personal website. If these players had stayed at Kentucky for more than 1 year, just imagine the high-powered teams like Calipari would have. Former Tennessee Volunteer and current Houston Texan running back Arian Foster admitted that he took money on the side while still playing at Tennessee. And Foster was quoted saying, quote, "I really didn't have any money. I had to either pay the rent or buy some food. I remember the feeling of like, man, be careful, but there's really nothing wrong with it," unquote, according to Chip Patterson's article. Foster also talks about the fact that over 100,000 people buy tickets to watch Tennessee play football games on Saturdays, but the players don't receive a single portion of this money generated by the highly priced tickets. Foster seems to be representing a large sample of the population of NCAA athletes with his comments. Many college athletes come from poor families, and a full ride scholarship isn't good enough to make them live a good life at college. If an athlete believes that he or she is good enough to go pro, then why wouldn't they? If their families are depending on them to bring in a paycheck and provide for their family, then the athlete may feel pressure from his family to provide for them. When college student athletes enter the draft after their first or second year, they are losing a valuable education that they may need if they have a career-ending injury in their careers. If the NCAA would allow these players to receive extra money and benefits, then maybe the players would value their education more and stay in college for 4 or 5 more years before beginning their professional career. College student athletes are also used on EA Sports video games. EA Sports doesn't use the player's name, but has used players' likenesses to create characteristics that resemble college players and give them the same numbers as they have in college. Part of the lawsuit filed by Ed O'Bannon included allowing players to receive some of the money made by EA Sports in their college sports games. EA Sports and Collegiate Licensing Company will pay around $40 million to settle these lawsuits, according to Darren Rovell's article. While the number of beneficiaries of this lawsuit will be between 200,000 to 300,000 former college players, current players can also become part of the settlement. It is unknown whether or not the NCAA will allow the current players to receive compensation due to the current rules set by the NCAA disallowing players to make money, according to Darren Rovell. Several years ago, young men and women who were given full-ride scholarships were satisfied with that opportunity. Today, people are starting to realize how much money the NCAA makes off of all their names and skills. They realize the main reason many people buy EA Sports college video games is because of certain players on the games. Billions of dollars have been made off of college athletes over the years, and current and former players are starting to come together to try to receive the right to be paid a portion of the money they earn to the NCAA. As more and more players join Kane Coulter and Vadley on the APU, it will become harder and harder for the NCAA to resist paying current and former players. The EA Sports and Collegiate Licensing Company already decided to pay $40 million to settle a lawsuit filed by Ed O'Bannon. This could be an early sign of organizations giving into the players' side of things. If college universities want their graduation rates to go up by keeping these great athletes in school for 4 years, then they should give in and let these players make all the millions and millions of dollars that they earn for the NCAA.
Oh my.
Thank you. Here's my audience again.